AFC playoff teams are set. The Ryan brothers need a job. The Jets avoid a shutout. We're one day late, but always worth the wait. This is Patriots Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh. Call the police, Mike.
Oh, ho, ho.
Patriots done put a beating.
They did. I think the Jets
On them
needed
Jets.
the police, the National Guard, somebody. I can't say National Guard. That's like a Shannon Sharp thing.
I think so, yeah.
Shannon Sharp.
T.O. maybe. Or...
Oof.
It was a beating indeed. Turns out the Pats covered.
Yes.
Turns out they covered.
I guess don't take the points. Hopefully nobody listened to me on last week's episode.
My goodness. I was with you, though. I thought it was going to be a tight game.
I mean, Jets, Pats, it's always tight, but that's fine. I'm glad being wrong. I mean, the bet is doing good on the Pats this year. 12-3 versus the spread.
No big deal.
Yeah. Hey,
No
gang,
big deal.
Pats Nation, thanks for dropping in on us on our midweek rudderless discussion on all things Patriots. Alongside Denny Harris, I am Mike Conley. Denny, why don't you tell the people how they can reach you?
Sure thing, Mike. On the Twitter, you can find me at Deehas, D-E-E-H-A-A-S.
Well done.
Thank you, sir. Where can they find you?
Through your Twitter account.
There you go.
They can,
I will take direct messages on your behalf.
They can hit up the comments section on the YouTube, or if they're listening to us with us live, you can go into the chat room on YouTube. Go to /AfterBuzz and click into the old Patriots Wrap 360 show.
What about on my Tinder or
I don't know.
Bumble? I don't even know if that's one. Bumble?
Bumble? That's
that
the
one?
gay Tinder, I believe.
Is it? Or
I'm
is
not
that
sure.
Grindr?
Oh,
Either way.
I think that's the one.
It's not
Bumble's
off too far.
Bumble's like a new Tinder.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
I don't have a Twitter account.
I'm spoken for over here.
You
right?
are. You're an engaged man. So, I mean, just a dismantling of the Jets. And it was just great to see, you know?
Yeah.
Todd Bowles get a little under the weather. Maybe he wishes he stayed in the hospital. Didn't quite get up there Saturday for the game.
I mean, happy to hear he was healthy. It seemed like maybe his mental health was not 100% there.
He's
struggling a bit there right before the half, calling the timeout.
I love that.
And old Bill just said, all right.
Oh, you're calling timeouts?
Turns out we're going to drop another 7 on you then before you hit the locker room.
Yeah. We were fine going in at 20-0. We were fine, but evidently you weren't fine with the Todd Bowles, so we're just going to up that ante a little bit.
Yeah, that had
bingo bango.
felt like 2007 kind of maneuverings, you know?
Oh.
It's like, all right, hey, I showed you a little mercy.
Right.
But you didn't take it, sir.
Yeah. So
now here it is.
We're gonna make you taste it. Yes, that was a little. It was amazing when it happened. I was like, "Oh, be careful, Todd Bowles."
Oh yeah, you saw the writing on the wall. You saw him as just all right. Now it's on.
I was like, "Wow, that's an aggressive move, buddy. Maybe going to the friggin' locker room down 20-0 ain't a bad call."
Seriously. Couldn't have scripted it any better though for the boys.
I love it. I love it.
Racking it up. Yeah, I mean a savage beating. It's hard to know exactly what to talk about when a beating is
so savage. TB12 was able to take off the fourth quarter.
No
Saw
big
a
deal.
little
Put
Jimmy
his
G
feet
in
up.
there. He still had 3 touchdowns, no picks, marking the 50th time in his career.
pretty
He's
good.
had that happen with at least 3 TDs and no picks.
Pretty good.
No big deal. So his touchdown interception rate right now ratio is 25-2.
Not too shabs.
The best ever, 27-2. Old Nicky Foles.
Really?
A few years ago. And I'm sure that when he was with the Eagles.
2 weeks in a row at Nick Foles.
Well, it was for the same reason.
But
That's the only reason anybody would mention Nick Foles.
It's true.
I'm sure you don't even have to have a Patriot fan. It would just be football fans in general would feel better with TB12's name atop that list
No question.
than old Nick Foles, who
No
now
question
backs up Alex Smith. But, I mean, does that make that, an overrated stat? Because I always point to TD interception ratio as a mark of a good quarterback.
I think it's, good decision making. Nick Foles had a good year.
They just had no tape on Nick Foles, and he was just able to kind of throw laser beams around, I guess.
Where you at now, Nick Foles?
So hopefully another 3 touchdown and 0 interception game this week will put the greatest of all time.
I think it's quite a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a possibility. I think we had the formula for this week. showed it to us last week.
The formula for for Miami, you mean?
Yeah, just in terms of just putting a savage beating on them and then get the rest once the game's in hand.
Well, it's great because the Pats are in a position right now when they already know they're having a bye. But you know what Bill's loving the fact is that here we are in Week 17, and there is something to play for.
Oh, yeah.
With the Raiders being a later game, the Pats would have to win in order to lock up that number 1 seed.
Right,
You know? So where the Raiders go later, they're just going to keep the foot on the gas and, it's easily justified, as opposed to a situation where if you were in the situation that the Cowboys are in,
right,
where that number 1 seed was locked up, after week 15, then you're answering a lot of questions and, asking a lot of questions but.
Yeah, I mean, to have 2 games like that, like last week, they were kind of answering those questions. How much is too much time? Who are you going to, who are you going to bench, et cetera. But yeah,
Big Bill doesn't have to go long back in the history books to point out how just coasting goes.
Yeah, he's always had his philosophy on it, and in Bill we trust, as we say on pretty much every point. But yeah, I think the number 1 seed, especially in the wake of last season, even though this scenario is a little different, being that Oakland is banged up and you got to feel for them a bit after a great season.
You really do.
Oh man, it's a bummer. I don't know if you saw the video of Carr.
Yeah,
it's broke.
He knew it right off.
Broke.
Yeah,
handled it pretty well though.
Yeah.
It's a bummer, though. You feel bad for the fan base to an extent, but I won't be too mad if they lock up that number 1 seed. And
we have to go to Oaktown.
Yeah, I won't be mad that he's not there. But
that's the only team that can catch us for the 1, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I think the Pats are going to do their job, as the kids say.
I think
go in and do work. But
I think you're absolutely right. Before we put the drubbing of the Jets to bed, I did want to, obviously we kind of let off the show with it. What do you think about that down 41-0 on 4th and 6? Old boy kicks a field goal.
He's just doing some math.
Yeah.
He's just crunching the numbers, and he's... Yeah, I don't know. There were some head-scratching calls there. It's just fun. To look now, we're 1 game away from the end of the season, and now it's a great time to assess the AFC East. And as we've talked about earlier this year, we both, I think, were kind of thinking Todd Bowles, the guy had a good year last year. He seems like a no-nonsense guy. I would have thought these standings might be reversed, or at least that the Jets would be in the mix.
Most definitely.
And then, it's just...
And I was thinking, kind of, even with them sputtering this year, he's still, they'll give him a 3rd year because the good graces of last season, all that stuff. Maybe they overachieved a little bit.
Right.
But after things like this, I wonder.
Yeah, the same thing.
Is there going to be another vacancy in the AFC East?
Same. It's the Patriots again and again.
Insane. Well, once again, we just have to feel very fortunate that we're able to cheer for this team to have this much continuity and a greatest of all time quarterback and a greatest of all time coach. It's like,
it's a good thing,
wrap
brother.
It up,
it's a good thing. Yeah, old Rex.
My feelings. I thought he did well enough to get another year. The Bills have a very high impression of themselves.
I guess they do. I feel like it's a weird. All right, 1 game left in the season. I feel is also a weird strategy.
Yeah, and it's like I hear like the major rift is because he didn't want to go with EJ Manuel over Tyrod Taylor.
Right.
It's like I think we've seen enough of EJ Manuel to know he's pretty much garbage.
Right,
You're gonna let him do a 1-game tryout and like all of a sudden he's gonna be better.
I don't get it.
That's like Frank Whaley, the GM, I guess, trying to save face on one of his like former first rounders. But I already thought they were passed on from that. Plus like. All talk in the preseason was Tyrod Taylor's the second coming of Jim Kelly,
right?
And it was like, this guy's going to be great, and he hasn't been great, but he hasn't been horrible. He's been pretty average.
Yeah,
I thought good enough to kind of like be one of those middle tier quarterbacks that you can win with if you have a good D. But it's like, the year before Rex came in, Bills lead the AFC or the whole league in sacks, 57. And now it goes down every year since, and now I think they're last.
Diminishing returns, as they say.
So pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think it's a questionable move, that's kind of what the Bills do. They make questionable moves, but I think it's kind of a disservice too to old Anthony Lynn as well. You put him in for a 1-game audition, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, I was looking at an article I think Mike Reese put out with just breaking down the coaching coaching changes since 2000 when Bill made the move to the Pats. 23 head coaches in the AFC East, including interims. I mean, the list is amazing.
You want me to name them?
God.
No, I'm just kidding.
I got there's a lot.
Fantasy stats guru, if he's got his ears on tonight, he'll rattle off 23 in a row.
No big deal.
I kind of bricked. I bet there's nobody listening kind of laughed tonight because I bricked last week and didn't tell them we were going to be on late.
Well, here we are, though.
I would have said we were on at 7 p.m., so I guess this is all good. It's all good.
Here we are in the glitter room.
The glitter room.
As it is.
That's right. We're coming to you from the lovely AFTERBUZZ Studio, Studio A, here at the lovely AFTERBUZZ Studios. Got a new floor paint job in the Christmas break.
Very nice.
A little tacky. Tacky in the actual sense,
yes.
not the fact that it is tacky. Yeah, tackified. A little sticky, yeah, but...
Looking like Studio 54 in here. I'm on Studio 1, am I right?
Yeah, for real. Should probably do some chopping. All right, keep it clean. Let's go back to a PG show, it. So Malcolm was the stud. 2 picks, a fumble recovery off of and Landon Roberts, jarring hit.
Oh my God!
Finally, we get to see what this kid when we were touting him up back in week 6 or after Collins got dealt. But we're seeing this kid go downhill.
Oh, yeah.
And that play where he shoots the gap and beats the tight end's block and just blows it up, causes the fumble. Malcolm's Johnny on the spot. Boom.
Unreal. Yeah, I mean that kid's production on running downs is definitely impressive. And now, I mean, you see that role obviously with Hightower being out. It opens up a little more playing time for him. But they're just using him in that role. I mean, the kid's a load. He brings the wood against the run. Huge play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff. I mean, I'd love to see him at least get a little niche role as we move forward here, but we shall see. I mean, obviously Hightower's a beast and a force to be reckoned with himself.
Yes, he is, and they rightly rested him this past week with that knee injury, and obviously you want to be smart with him. I know the temptation's going to be kind of great because you got a guy Jay Ajayi this week who is really toting the rock.
Yeah,
he's got like 3 or 4 200-yard games or something this year.
Unbelievable.
These guys are playing a lot better than when we faced them earlier this year. And you know another thing in the chat. Here we go, Rudderless. But I did want to say attaboy to Matt Lengel. Him getting his first career touchdown pass in the NFL.
First catch, first touchdown.
No big deal.
I was thinking about this on the old ride up. If you're an athlete, how big of a deal is that to you? First catch is a touchdown. And then I was thinking back to a little cross sports reference here, but Daniel Nava first at bat, grand slam. You got to take the grand slam, I think. But you're thinking Tom Brady throwing you your first career touchdown.
It's pretty good.
Woo.
It's pretty good.
It's a tough call.
Well, I mean, the fact that the GOAT's in the mix, that kind of probably puts it over the top.
That's the thing. You got to, what do you want to tell your grandkids? It's tough.
If Daniel Nava hit that off of,
exactly. That's
Pedro Martinez or something like that. And maybe,
yes.
But I forget who he hit it off of.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It wasn't that memorable.
Either way. But yeah, I don't think we've mentioned it. The pride of former Northeastern guy. Before they canned the program.
Right. And then he went to Western Kentucky?
I believe that's correct.
Is that correct?
Langle from the Bengals.
You guys will tell me if I'm not.
But yeah, doing his thing, man. I mean, it's always nice to see these guys chipping in and
doing my own thing.
Getting some production out of the tight ends. Marty had a TD. Langle had a TD.
That was a nice ball by 12, too.
That was.
He had to get it over and then keep it in enough so it wouldn't go out of the back of the end zone. That's just, just dropping it down the old chimney like Santa Claus. Oh, yeah. Maybe he did it in honor of
Christmas Day.
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
We ask this question every week, so I'll ask him one more time. This Patriots defense, a good defense or just playing pretenders?
I mean, if I'm to answer it, I think they're a good defense.
Yeah.
The biggest thing people are bringing up is the fact that, the level of competition is lower this year. It seems that way across the league, for one.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question that the D has improved, though, as the season's gone on. And you see the kind of versatile looks that Bill and Matt Patricia are kind of playing with. The different stunts and stems, as they're calling them. Apparently that's the new term in vogue. But
sweet.
Sweet, bro. Cool stemming you're doing there on the lawn. But yeah, I mean, they've been mixing up the looks, and you're seeing just really kind of shuffling the personnel, and really it's interesting the way they're rotating the pass rushers too.
Yeah.
It's like a true rotation, keeping guys fresh. So
speaking of a guy that was out of the early rotation in the Jet game, Malcolm Brown.
Yeah.
And apparently he was late to a meeting last week or something. It was something along those lines.
That's the new talk. Yeah, that kind of. I don't know if that just broke midweek here or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what's kind of leaked out as the week's gone on. But
I mean, I love myself some Malcolm.
no question.
And one of the reasons I do like him is because he's so tight-lipped about stuff, and he's being tight-lipped about this as well. So
shuttled right out of the stadium after the game.
Gotta love it. But yeah, he didn't really get in there or get any meaningful minutes till garbage time.
Right.
He just kind of decided. But probably going to need him against the run this week and Mr. Jay Ajayi. I think so. It'll be a good test this week versus 10-5 Dolphins team.
Right.
On their soil. We haven't won there in 3 straight games.
Right.
So it's about to bring it. And we are going to get a good dose of that Jay Ajayi guy. So it'll be a good test for this run defense because, as we all know as Patriot fans and disciples of Bill, we know that to win December and January football games, you have to run the football and stop the run.
No question, brother.
So this will be a nice little measuring stick and a prep to go in the playoffs.
I think to that point, I think we're primed to do just that. I mean, the run D is unquestionably good. Alan Branch having a huge year also.
Huge.
Yeah, I think that they're in the top 5 run D. Are they the number 1 run defense in the league?
I know I'm paying attention to the only stat that Bill pays attention to, so I, as a disciple of Bill, only pay attention to points scored. And they do, in fact, after putting up their back-to-back 3 spots the past 2 weeks, now we're giving up, I think, 15.7, 15.7 a game, so that's best in the league.
Pretty good.
Not too bad. A little milestone for Steve the Ghost Gostkowski this past week, too. He had his 300th career field goal.
Not bad.
One of only 30 guys to accomplish that.
Are you feeling good about him overall? Do you feel like those...
Ship is righted.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way?
I want to. I'm nervous still, though.
Just
more
look at
than
his
I've ever
stats,
been.
After the bye week and pre-bye week.
Right.
It's I don't know. He did some soul searching on the bye week.
On the bye week, yeah. Yeah, it looks like the Pats are currently slated at with the number 3 rushing defense. So I feel like our rushing attack, offensively, our O-line and our D-line and our ability to stop the run are definitely strengths of the team this year going into the playoffs, and I think that's huge. To kind of go further as far as the D, I think it's a combination. Obviously, the level of competition hasn't been fantastic, but I think, as has always been the case in championship years, the D's consistently got better and better. I think they're about as healthy as you could hope for right now, knock on whatever surface is available.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an interesting stat earlier today, too. The Pats D this season, in the first 10 games, 9 takeaways. In the last 5 games, 12 takeaways.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously, Butler's big day didn't hurt that cause either. But, obviously, you win the turnover battle, as any football mind would tell you. It's gonna lend itself towards winning some games. So,
it's true.
That bodes well as well.
That kind of goes back to what we're talking about this this Patriots team and how they're gelling together on defense, and so you don't think about it anymore. You're just playing on instincts, and when that happens, you cause some turnovers. Some turnovers.
No question, brother.
But in order to put a button on the Jets game,
yes,
2 more rushing touchdowns for LGB, 17 on the season.
Pretty big deal.
That's the most rushing touchdowns in the league since I believe AP had 18 in 2009.
Wow.
So it's been a bit.
He could tie that up. Yeah, and McCoy had 17 in 2011, I believe, as well. But a couple guys having big years too. What's his knuckle in Arizona? David, where you at, Mike? You help me out there?
David Johnson?
David Johnson,
sorry.
No, you're in the zone over there. He's got what? He's got 15 or 16 this year, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
and
actually
Zeke
has a
Dallas
chance to, if he gets 100 scrimmage yards this week, David Johnson, he will be the first player ever to do that in all 16 games.
No big deal.
So, no big deal.
Yeah, I thought it was obviously a good game for the Pats, though, to, as you said, button up the Jets game. To say the least, it was a good game. It was a dominant performance. My new favorite Jet, Quincy Enunwa, was nowhere to be found, which I thought was a good sign as well for the Pats pass D. Enunwa.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a matchup problem. Kind of a tight end because he's big, but fast like a wide receiver.
Big dude, but finished the day with 1 reception for 30 yards.
How did Brandon Marshall do? I knew Eric Rowe picked one covering him one time. How did he do?
He did pretty poorly, which...
How's he doing in that preseason wager?
Something me and Mike were talking about off air. The little preseason bet between Antonio Brown and Brandon Marshall. I forget what it is. I think it's who would have more yards at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But coming into the game this week, it looks like an absolute sure thing for Antonio. The dude, basically, the wager was...
Antonio's sitting this week, though.
Is he?
Yep.
So I guess if Marshall has a 500-plus yard game, he stands a chance to, number one, break all kinds of ridiculous NFL records that have never been broken, and number two, pick himself up an extra vehicle. But yeah, before the season, Marshall said he'd give Brown a Porsche that was parked outside, or Porsche for the car folks, parked outside Jets headquarters if Brown had more receiving yards than him this season.
Yeah, but didn't he want Brown to put up his rolls?
Yeah, if Marshall taught Brown, he'd have to give him the black and gold Rolls Royce that Brown drove during training camp.
Which is probably worth about 3 times more than that Porsche, if not 4 or 5.
So there you go. Entering week 17, he has a nearly 500-yard edge on Marshall. Pretty much a done deal.
Pretty good.
Someone's got a new car.
So, to put the absolute button on this, I just wanted to give props out to John Tuomi and Jim Crocker, the two firefighters, off-duty firefighters.
Oh, yeah, nice story there.
That were at the game. Some dude had a heart attack a couple rows away from him. These dudes, react team, boom, sprung into action, get the dude off his seat, administer CPR, even get the defib, boom, boom, clear.
Oh, did they break out the fib?
Oh, yeah. And, kept the guy alive until the EMTs got there. Bingo, bango. Guy returned home Monday.
No big deal.
There you go.
Right in time to watch another Patriots victory this weekend. Mad
ups this week to those boys there. Good job, John Tuomi and Jim Crocker. Mad ups for Pats fans. So here's the deal. I'm not really I think the Miami Dolphins are a better football team with Matt Moore at the helm. I've never been a big Ryan Tannehill believer. I don't think he's a very accurate passer. He does make strides in that. I think he has this year. But, you look at him as a career maybe 63%er, maybe,
right.
But, I think Matt Moore is one of the better backups in the league. And definitely, the dude's huge, can see over defenses. He makes all the throws.
Yeah.
Bingo bango. He came off, shook off the rust, and had 4 TDs last week.
No big deal.
Granted, it was versus the Jets, but what are you going to do?
Exactly.
2 weeks ago.
Right.
But, this guy is formidable and it could quite possibly be the third best AFC playoff quarterback. When you look around the AFC teams, and, the matchups aren't set yet, but the teams are set.
Right. Yeah, it's rare that I can't recall any year where the quarterback scenario has been in such a state of disarray heading into the playoffs.
Right.
Gives you a little extra confidence. If we log up this 1 seed, which I anticipate we're going to do, you got to feel pretty good about our chances of knocking off anybody that's going to come into New England.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for the Raiders. The Raiders have to go, I believe, to Denver. And, Denver's kind of mailed it in. But, then no car. They got Pat McGroin going on it.
There it is.
Check that. Matt McGloin. Matt McGloin. Going for I got to smash down
glass.
every...
You kissed that one off the glass.
Yeah, I did. That was easy. But I actually went to college with a kid named Pat McGroin. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Literally.
His parents were a couple of jokesters over there.
Maybe that was McGloin. I think that was fine. Maybe I just tormented that kid for 4 years, 3 years.
Quite plausible.
Safe bet. Another thing I have to repent for. Shaga. Another milestone reached over the week. Apparently, we're not putting a button on this, but Bill Belichick, 200 regular season wins with the same team.
Yes.
Good on you, BB.
Good on you, yeah. One of 5 coaches of all time to do that now. Hallis, Shula, Landry, Lambeau, and Bill Belichick.
See? Right up with the greats, as he should be.
Huge.
And Don Shula.
Coming into Miami. Speaking of records.
I almost brought in a Miami Dolphins fan this week so we could just kind of
Just ridicule him?
Just let him have it.
Wearing
No,
a
I actually wanted to see
varsity
what
jacket?
Yeah. I mean, because you know what I find that this little program here on a weekly basis, and I hope it's true for the fans as well, this is my little therapy session where I can come and just ooze about how much I love this football team.
Yes.
And how, especially in this holiday season, how much gratitude I have for the fact that I can, watch this football club. And, it allows me to get it kind of out of my system because
Absolutely.
you could see a team or somebody that roots for a team that has so much success like this, you could probably turn into a little bit of a D-bag.
No question. Especially if you were,
predisposition to being a D-bag? Are you saying I am?
There it is.
Are you saying I am?
No.
So this was going to be like a good test. I was going to try and, bring him in, be cordial.
A test. It would have been a test indeed.
It would have been a test.
I mean...
More so for you, I would say.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, it isn't like the Dolphins are going to lay down either because... Right now they're in the 6 hole. They can move up to the 5, and you were like,
"Oh, they can." I thought they were locked, so they do have some incentive to play.
Yeah, they do have incentive to play because that 5 and pretty damn good it's incentive because easy for me to say they can move up to 5, and you might say, "Oh, 5 or 6, big deal. You're going on the road, no big deal." But it's the difference of playing Houston. Or going to Pittsburgh.
Right, which Houston might be the worst team in the playoffs.
Terrible.
They might be the worst team in the playoffs.
I mean, they're having the guy coming in on his 3rd career start will be the playoffs. If they go with that guy. He didn't exactly he got the W, but he didn't light the world on fire last week. But he came at 1-2 weeks ago out of relief for them.
It's the reality
Somehow
of
got the W last week. I mean, it's just all D for them.
The 2016 NFL picture. I mean, you got... These also-rans making it into the playoffs. It's the whole field just doesn't seem as competitive.
Yeah. Message to Bill O'Brien. Your time is now with this defense. J.J. Watt's only got a couple years left. Clowney's coming into his own. It's time to make the run now. Mortgage the farm for Jimmy Garoppolo.
There it is. At least a 1 and a 4.
1 and a 4. He's better than Sam Bradford, right?
No question.
Come on.
Turns out they invested quite heavily last year, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, Sam Bradford's probably got about 75 more career starts than Jimmy Garoppolo, but
Jimmy G.
Anyways, the buzz is with Jimmy G.
Speaking of records, which seem to be a weekly occurrence now, whether it's Bill or Tom, just breaking record week after week.
No big deal.
Wouldn't it be nice, or shall I say, won't it be nice, when Tom breaks his next record this week in Miami?
Surpassing Dan Marino.
He's about 60 yards behind him.
I think he needs 57 to break it.
There it is. So it could even be the first quarter.
Yeah. I hope it's a situation where he can rest in the 4th again.
I anticipate that it will be.
Wow. You think this is going to be blow your doors off?
I think the Miami Dolphins are not that good. I mean, I know they're one of the hot teams in the league the last 12 weeks or so, but I just don't.
They're playing the same week schedule the Pats are.
Yeah, that's accurate. We are also benefiting from that as well, but I don't see it. I don't think. I think they're a marginal team. I think they belong in that bottom of the pile as kind of where they are. At least the playoff pile.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I mean, you look at typical teams that advance in the playoffs, and quarterback play is going to be huge. So really, who do you have in the AFC? You got the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
You would have had the Raiders.
Tom Brady.
You would have had the Raiders, and unfortunately, stuff
Matt
happened. So now you have Big Ben and the Steelers. I think obviously he can make some noise.
Yep.
And Alex Smith with the Chiefs.
Oh wow.
So it's
like 3 good quarterbacks and 3 question marks.
Yeah, it's beyond question marks. This is it's an unusual set of circumstances.
It is very unusual.
How important do you feel that 1 seed is for the Pats? That is what I am asking you.
My first answer is okay, we saw what had happened last year. We had an opportunity to do it, drop the last 2 games to these very same Jets and Dolphins.
Right.
And, then we were in the 2 seed, had to go to Denver, didn't work out for us. A little different. They had, quite possibly the 2nd best quarterback of all time going for them in Denver.
Right.
We would have to go on the road to Oakland, a much warmer place, easier to breathe, with Matt McGloin looking over the side. And a defense that, although they have Khalil Mack, suspect at times.
They're definitely suspect.
Suspect.
I've been saying it for a few weeks. I think the Raiders, even with Carr, there's at least still an unproven commodity, like they're a young team, and maybe this was the year they were going to do it, but might have to wait till next year, Derek.
I mean, I think they were still a year away, just because I think you have to go to the playoffs and lose once or twice, taste it a little bit,
as you like to say.
I do like to say that. And I just now it's like, I mean, the Matt McGloin situation, it's like I still think they could beat a lot of teams in the AFC. I just don't think the Pats are one of those teams.
They're not one of those teams.
So I mean, the biggest scare factor right now is Pittsburgh. I believe they're locked into the 3.
Right.
And
Pittsburgh and I feel like the Chiefs. Those are the two teams that are going to.
And the Chiefs. So it's kind of interesting. The Chiefs could get up to that 2 seed. In which case,
if they win and Oakland loses.
Yes. So that could be a case where that's looking like Chiefs Pats maybe.
Right.
In the final.
In which case, you'd definitely prefer to be in New England than at Arrowhead. No question.
Oh yeah, no question. Well, there's no chance they can do that.
Right. Good point.
So,
but
I'm definitely not fearing the impossible, Denny. I will tell you that right off the bat.
I only fear the things that I can control.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to call it a cakewalk for the Pats, but
don't call it a cakewalk.
Thank you, LL.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like the odds are ever in our favor. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel all right about it.
Let me just tell you. So the Pats, they win and they lock up the number 1
seedling.
The number 1 seedling. Let me tell you. Just look at the NFC for a quick week.
Let's do it.
For a quick second. And
quick.
So if you're a Tampa Bay Bucks fan,
which I'm not, for the record.
I just think this is funny, and I always love looking at this when it comes down to week 17. So let me just give the mouse on a wheel that powers the internet here a little hunk of cheese, and it's going to come up here. Boom. All right, here it is. So the Cowboys. Oh no, we already saw that. Okay. So the Bucks have to win. They have to beat the Panthers. The Cowboys have to beat the Eagles. The Titans have to beat Houston. The Colts have to beat the Jaguars. The Niners have to beat the Seahawks.
Oh my goodness.
The Giants tie the Redskins, and then the Lions have to beat the Packers on the Sunday night game. And you're in, Bucks fans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they
might as well throw a 5 spot down on that too, and make it a double whammy. If your boys get in, and you probably win a couple G's off that.
That's going to be a heck of a parlay.
That is improbable.
Hello.
That is improbable.
It sure is.
It's going to be an interesting field, though. Even in the NFC, the picture is the deck has been shuffled a little bit. You got some of the familiar faces over there, but I think the Packers and the Seahawks are getting hot at the right time. We'll see. The Giants.
Yeah.
Do you fear the Giants? Should you fear the Giants?
I'll tell you what. Former UMass product Victor Cruz, running his mouth this week about how the Pats don't want to face the Giants.
Right.
I mean,
probably should handle his business in the first round of the playoffs before you start worrying about how the guys on the other side of the pond are doing.
It's true.
By the other side of the pond, I strictly mean the AFC.
That's why you heard 0 rebuttals from anybody on the Patriots, because they got one team in mind, and that's the Miami Dolphins. In closing this regular season with a 14-2 record.
Are you concerned at all about the historical implications of the game, as far as, or at least how Brady's fared historically down there this time of year, especially?
Yeah.
Will that have an impact?
We always have it like that last game, in Miami.
Right.
A lot of knuckleheads go down for that one to get out of the cold, So there's going to be a contingent of fans there. There's no excuse there.
No question.
But, I think that, Tom's on a mission, like we said all day. He wants to have that trophy given to by, Goodell.
Right.
And then he's going to give the, truck again to Malcolm Butler and tell him to back over Goodell. Big deal.
I like that. I like that. I ain't mad at you.
But yeah, he's on this mission, and he didn't have a good record in Denver. Vanquished them in Denver. Thanks to a good game by the D. And then, they're just gonna vanquish the Dolphins too. Why not?
I foresee them doing just that in this game, if I haven't made that clear already. But I think it's going to be a restful second half for Thomas Edward Brady.
Is he Edward?
I think so. All right, Thomas Edward. Maybe not. Maybe not. Either way, but 19-9 all time versus the Dolphins. But in Miami, this is unofficial stats, by the way.
Yeah.
6-8 all time in Miami. And they lost the last 3 times. Last 3 trips to Miami, they lost.
I don't think we have to let our viewership know that all stats are unofficial on this program.
They are unofficial. All stats are unofficial. That was based on a little number crunching I was doing. But
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to impact them on the field.
Yeah.
On New Year's Day.
I'd like to. I mean, I can look ahead because I'm not on the 53, but
this season.
But I would love to play the Giants. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, they're hot." And I'm like, They can't run the ball, which we mentioned earlier in the program is what you have to do to win December football game.
Right.
And the reason why they gave Fitz the Pats the last 2 Super Bowls was because they could really get after the passer.
Right.
I haven't seen that much with this Giants team. They haven't been that good again, despite them spending $100 million and bringing in Olivier Vernon and Snacks Harrison and those guys.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with many in Pat's Nation that it seems like a jinxy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, obviously the common thread this year, or at least the thing that people are kind of harping on, is the fact that they knocked off the Cowboys twice.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys are not the Patriots and vice versa, and, every matchup is different.
Yeah.
I do think anybody, any given Sunday, as we always say, like, I do think Pittsburgh has a legitimate shot, and I do think the Chiefs have a legitimate shot, and I think whoever comes out of the NFC will have a legitimate shot. But
do you think that'll be the Cowboys?
That I'm curious to see. I mean, it's going to be an interesting scenario. They do have a rookie at QB.
Yeah.
And here's another unofficial stat I think I overheard, but I don't think any rookie quarterback has ever taken a team to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So
that would make sense.
It'd be pretty impressive to have a rookie QB and a rookie tailback.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, tailback's a little easier than other positions to pick up, but still, it's...
Especially when you have that offensive line. Their left tackle got injured, Teron Smith, in their last game. They're keeping him out this week, but it'll be interesting to see for the playoffs if he's going to be in there. One thing I'd point to the people saying, oh, they beat Dallas twice so they can beat the Patriots, I'd point at, Dak Prescott, really, good rookie quarterback. Conversely, the Patriots, greatest quarterback of all time.
Right.
So there's kind of just pointing out one position.
You also have that coach in New England. I can't think of his name, but he's pretty good against the young QBs as
200 regular season Patriot wins. Bill Belichick.
That's the guy.
The GOAT.
Also sounds like the Finns this week, by the way, will be without their number 1 cornerback, Byron Maxwell.
Ooh.
This is according to, I want to say, their D coordinator leaked this out. So they'll be without Byron Maxwell and without linebacker Jelani Jenkins.
Oof. 2 good players. Keep TB12 upright, and I like our chances.
They're going to blow the doors off this one.
They're laying 6. They're going to cover 6, no problem?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
Make your bets, gentlemen.
Some speculation, we haven't given it much thought, but with, Rex going down and coaches going down like flies, how long can we hold on to Josh McDaniels as an offensive coordinator?
Well, yeah, the talk coming out of a few horses' mouths this week, is that it's basically a done deal already. Not any specific team, but that there's no way he's not. He's at the top of everyone's list, and there's openings coming even more than already exist. So. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. There's a few...
Think he'll go to the Rams?
I don't know. That's a lot of... Obviously, there's a lot of talk there. There was another story. I somehow didn't know this, and it came out this week.
Somehow.
Josh McDaniels and the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars were college roommates.
Really?
There's such a contingency of John Carroll, wherever they.
Yes.
I mean, they're not just in the Patriots organization, but across the league. There's a bizarre amount of these John Carroll grads in front offices, especially, and then through the coaching ranks. So there are a few connections that where you could draw some lines that make sense. A fit for McDaniel.
Yeah.
Another one I heard kind of pop up this week, which we'll see. I mean, it's not, nothing is imminent necessarily, but if San Diego becomes a vacancy, he might be a solid fit there too. So
that would come to LA too,
And that to me, that's a team that certainly has the talent, but
I mean, you only have to look behind me at the sparkling decor to know that in LA they like shiny things.
This is true.
A guy like Josh McDaniels at the helm of a shiny offensive machine. I think they want to get to that because Jeff Fisher was kind of defensive guy,
Right.
So I think when you just get over a defensive guy, they usually the switch up. Experienced defensive guy, let's go with a young offensive guy. That seems to be the question. And he was an offensive coordinator for the Rams,
right,
for a year.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
The question there is, how does he feel about the young QB? And is that his guy?
That's a big one.
Which, it's huge. Because
talking about Sean Mannion, of course.
Because Goff, he looks the part for LA, but I don't know what they spent an arm and a leg to bring the kid in. So if you're not ready to ride or die with that guy, it seems like it might not be the best fit.
Yeah.
Not to mention the ugly. It's just it doesn't seem like the best scenario out here to me, at least as far as the organization.
So this will give him like an opportunity to go get a nice 5-year stint with a team, crash and burn, and then when old BB and TB walk off into the sunset in 5 years,
right,
he'll be able to slide right back in.
There hasn't been as much talk about Patricia, but obviously he's another candidate that's popped up too. So it'll be interesting to see what
him and Bill share wardrobe, so I don't see him moving at all.
I feel like he's going to be staying as well.
Me too.
But it will be interesting as well who would fill that role on offense. If Brian Daboll stays in house, because he has, I think with the Jets he was the offensive coordinator under Mangini, or I forget where because he left and came back. I know he was a coordinator, maybe even with McDaniels before in Denver. But he has that experience, so it would make sense for him to move up with the Pats, or if he's chummy with McD, to head out of town with him. So it'll be interesting to see. But those John Carroll ties, if I have the correct school,
deep.
They do.
They do.
John
run Carroll,
deep.
D3,
there
right
it is.
outside of Cleveland.
There it is.
Because we got a bunch of guys like who's the front office guy that?
Old
Caserio.
Hanson there. Nick Caserio.
Yeah,
another one. So.
Who's the Jaguars guy?
I forget his name, but I just saw that came out this week, and it was kind of like, whoa, really? Isn't that a fun fact?
We're gonna get out of here in about 1 minute. Is there anything you wanted to say to the folks, or anything you wanted to get off your chest?
Happy holidays, happy New Year.
Be safe out there. Happy New Year.
2017. Can you believe it?
We'll be back here on our usual day on Wednesdays around 11:12 Eastern Time. That's Edelman Brady PM Wednesday nights. So drop in with us. We appreciate it. So for old Danny Harris, I am Mike Conley. This has been another edition of Patriots Wrap 360. Go Pats. Thanks for hanging in with us. Happy birthday, Aaron Martin.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.